The sun was sinking low over a quiet suburban street when the roar of motorcycle engines shattered the calm. A line of heavy bikes pulled up near the park, chrome gleaming under the orange sky. The men riding them wore leather vests, their patches marking them as Hell's Angels MC. They were loud, intimidating, and the kind of group most people avoided. But that day they stopped not for a fight, but for something that would change them all. "Hey boss, check this out," one of the bikers muttered, pointing toward the sidewalk. A little girl, no more than 8, stood by a tree. Her blue dress looked faded, her shoes scuffed. Beside her was a tiny pink bicycle, its paint chipped and one training wheel bent. She held a cardboard sign in trembling hands. "For sale." The leader, Rex, killed the engine and stared. His tattooed hands tightened on the handlebars. He'd seen a lot in his life, but this was new. "Kid," he said, stepping off his bike, his boots crunching against the pavement. "What are you doing out here?" The girl looked up, her eyes too tired for her age. I'm selling my bike, sir." Rex frowned. "Why?" She hesitated, her lip trembling. "Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." The rest of the gang fell silent. Even the engines seemed to hush. Rex crouched down, meeting her eye level. "Where's your mom, sweetheart?" The girl pointed weakly toward a tree further down the street. A woman sat slumped against it, wrapped in a thin shawl. Her face was pale, her cheeks hollow. She was watching them, ashamed, as if she didn't want to be seen. Rex's chest tightened. Something inside him, long buried under scars and bad memories, stirred. He turned back to the girl. "What's your name?" He smiled faintly. "That's a pretty name, Lily. You said you're selling your bike to buy food." She nodded. "Mom said we'll be okay. But I heard her crying last night, so I wanted to help." Rex swallowed hard. He'd been called a lot of things, a thug, a monster, a sinner. But right now, standing in front of that little girl, he felt something break inside. "Stay here," he murmured, standing up. He motioned his crew over. "Tank, Blade, you see that woman? Go talk to her. Gently." Tank, a giant of a man with arms like steel beams, nodded and approached the mother. She flinched as he neared, clutching her shawl tighter. "It's okay, ma'am," Tank said softly. "We're not here to hurt you. Your little girl said you haven't eaten." The woman blinked back tears. "We lost everything. My husband died last year. Bills piled up. I tried to find work, but nobody wants a sick woman." Her voice broke. "We got evicted last week. I told Lily everything would be fine, but I can't even feed her anymore." Tank didn't know what to say. He just nodded and turned back to Rex. Rex reached into his vest pocket, pulled out his wallet, and walked to the little girl. "Lily," he said, holding out $100 bill. "I'll buy your bike." Her eyes widened. "Are really?" He nodded. "Yeah, but here's the deal, you keep the bike. You just let me help your mom. Okay?" The girl's lower lip quivered as she clutched the bill. "Thank you, sir." Rex turned to his crew. "Boys, we're going shopping." The rumble of engines echoed again, this time outside a small grocery store. The bikers stormed in, their leather vests drawing uneasy stares from customers. But they weren't there for trouble. They filled cart after cart, bread, milk, rice, canned soup, diapers, medicine. Blade even grabbed a few pink cupcakes for the kid. When they returned, Lily's eyes lit up. "That's so much food," she gasped. Rex grinned. "Well, bikers eat a lot. We figured your mom should too." The mother tried to refuse. "Please, I can't accept this." Rex shook his head. "You can. And you will." For a moment, she just stared at them. This rough, tattooed group of men who looked like they'd come straight out of a nightmare, now unloading groceries like angels. Then her tears finally fell. As the men carried the bags into a nearby shelter, Rex noticed a worn photograph fall out of the mother's purse. He picked it up. It was of a man in army uniform. "Your husband?" he asked. She nodded. "Sergeant Michael Green. He served in Afghanistan. Died in a convoy accident 3 years ago." Rex froze. The name echoed in his mind. He whispered, "Michael Green. No way. He pulled off his sunglasses, eyes wide. Ma'am, your husband, he saved my life. The woman looked stunned. Rex's voice trembled. He pulled me out of a burning vehicle when I was just a rookie soldier. I never got to thank him. And now, his voice cracked. Now I find his family starving on a street corner? He clenched his fists, furious at the world, at himself. Then he knelt beside Lily again. Your dad was a hero, kid. You hear me? A hero. And as long as I'm alive, you'll never go hungry again. The girl threw her arms around his neck, and for the first time in years, Rex hugged back. Not as a biker, not as a soldier, but as a man who finally found redemption. Days later, the gang returned to that same street, this time to help move Lily and her mother into a small apartment paid for by the club. Rex placed the pink bike by the door. I told you, kid. You keep it. She smiled. Can I ride it again now? He laughed. Ride it wherever you want. Just promise me one thing, always help someone who needs it, even if it's just with a smile. The mother placed a trembling hand over Rex's. I don't know how to thank you. Rex looked up at the sky. You don't have to. Your husband already did. The camera would pull back slowly. Lily riding her bike down the street, her laughter echoing, while the bikers watch, silent but proud. The engines start again. The gang rides off, the words Hell's Angels glinting in the sunlight. But that day, they were something else entirely. They were heroes. Sometimes the roughest hearts carry the deepest scars and the most kindness. If the story touched you, subscribe and comment your country below, because kindness still rides among us.